Hello, Belinda Warwick here and welcome. Thank you for attending this online workshop wherever you are and whatever time it is in the world. It is great to have you here online and we appreciate your time and effort to be on board. Our best wishes to you, your family and community and friends. A bit more about me. I'm Belinda Warwick. I'm a downsizing expert after project managing hundreds of downsizers and helping people through this transformation over the last decade. I'm also an author of the book Rightsize Your Home, The Empty Nester's Guide to a Stress-Free Downsize. I am also the Director of Learning at rightsizeyourhome.com.au, where I have written and designed several courses to help people in their downsize and get in control of this journey. A little bit more about Sarah. So Sarah, you're a senior property stylist at Advantage. You're very experienced in this.
Yes, I am. Thank you, Belinda, and thank you for welcoming me on board with this workshop today. And it's great to be here.
Excellent. So I've worked alongside Sarah throughout my business in project management for a number of years now, and certainly she really does know her stuff. So a strong arts design professional with an advanced diploma of interior design, and you've worked in the real estate and styling industry for quite some time, which is our experience together. I'd like to cover the 5 topic headings of today's workshop. So we've broken it into these 5 sections. Is it okay to use the furniture I already have to present my home for sale? Is it better to show your home with nothing in it instead of hiring furniture? These are really interesting questions. So looking forward to talking more about it. And why would you hire furniture instead of using your own furniture? And how much is it to hire furniture? And how does it all work? And then, of course, we'll wrap up with some top tips. So moving right along, Sarah, thank you. First question for you.
Yes.
Is it okay to use the furniture that you have and to present your home for sale? So tell us from your experience.
Yeah, from my experience, absolutely. And I think, a lot of people, downsizing will get to this question to themselves, and I think, well, my furniture, am I going to be able to use this? Can it be used in the environment of the house that I have? So yes, does it align with the style of the house and particularly in the demographic of the area? And who are we targeting? Are we targeting a younger audience? Are we targeting a family? So yes, it is okay, but I just need to understand if can I work with it, with what I'm going to be providing in terms of the furniture. Can I furnish and use what you have? And sometimes it really just depends on who I'm going to be targeting.
And you can tie in all sorts of things, but there's probably an opportunity there, isn't there, for the downsizers? They're often going to somewhere smaller, so it's probably worth considering there that if you do need to move on some furniture, probably worth doing it before the sale, because you're only going to have to deal with it afterwards anyway.
Absolutely. It's much more about, am I going to be moving it on now, and when I'm already going to be moving out in 2 to 3 months time. So it really is just preparing the full sale now and getting the best outcome and presentation for the home.
And the outcome for the owners. The more in your pocket, the better. Definitely.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm trying to do for you. That's terrific. Well, let's move on to the next one. So, is it better to show your home with nothing instead of hiring furniture?
Oh, this is a great question, and it really, I guess when you're looking at a property, a lot of the time you can't actually visualize the rooms, and sometimes the rooms itself are really difficult to style, or it could be in an odd shape. So the aim of the styling is to encourage the buyers out there to really see placement of furniture and how the spaces can be used. And it's to, obviously to engage the buyer in the styling, the feel and the feel of the home, the architecture. Can I make this room look bigger? And so it's really using furniture pieces that's really going to help the room and the setup of the room. So empty properties can look very cold and uninviting. So it does encourage a soft furnishings in the room to really soften and feel like a home. Particularly when furniture is installed or not installed, sorry, it can feel cold, and sometimes it does take longer to sell. In our experience, we have had unfurnished properties and done some case studies on it where it is properties have been on the market for a lot longer, and then when furniture is put in the home, people engage in the property, people are really excited by what they can do in the space, and it does sell quicker. So particularly for those buyers who are really wanting a quick sale, it does help along the sale process. So furniture does definitely help in that time.
And it's all about the sense of buying into a lifestyle and a bit of a dream. So
absolutely.
It's probably likely that, especially as we're talking about this downsizer demographic, they're selling a family home. So the people buying it are actually upsizing. So they're looking, it's an aspirational purchase, especially in this demographic. So it's very important to have the look and the feel and the excitement, and therefore it always helps to create competition, which then leads to a sale at a better price. So it's part of the piece, the whole selling piece, having the product and then creating the competition and increasing the value.
Yeah.
For those that are on the podcast, they won't be able to see, but on this webinar, we've got a picture there of 2 rooms. So that's probably a perfect example of how would you use that room. So if it was empty, it may be a little bit confusing for someone walking around the home. However, what we can do is use a space like that, knowing the demographic. So whoever that target market is, what do they want to see? With furniture hire, you have the opportunity to create a look and create a home in the layout of what your demographic, what the new buyer is looking for. For this property, for example, it may be a study in that end room. Can you talk us through a little bit more about that? How would you work that out?
Yeah, that's right. And it really depends on the spaces and how many rooms this house is offering. A good sized 3-bedroom home, and it's got, maybe you're walking into an entry and then it's got a room off the entry and a room off a living space. Who am I targeting? Should I be doing it as a formal, maybe a formal dining space? Could it be a study space? So I do look at, who I'm going to be targeting as a buyer, and also I want the rooms to flow. So, particularly in this sense, that little purple room off the end there might work really well as a nice dining space leading on to a lounge room. And so sometimes, when you're walking into property, you don't necessarily know where to start if it's empty. So that's we try and encourage the visual look by creating what we think will be best in that home.
And what's very exciting too in my role and in yours too is finding what might be a little opportunity to create some more money for the purchaser, for the seller. So we sometimes do come across spaces like that where we can create extra purpose or versatility in a house.
Absolutely.
Sometimes we do actually get enclosed dining rooms, so where the vendor is selling a home that may have been built in the 60s or the 70s. They did sometimes create dining rooms specifically, but that may have a different purpose now with today's market. That may convert to, instead of a 3-bedroom home, going to a 4 or something like that. So extra opportunity may be there that the seller is not aware of, which we can help with.
Absolutely.
Okay, topic number 3. Why would you hire furniture instead of using your own? So we've gone from one extreme to the other. Can you use your furniture? Yes, you can. Can you sell empty? We'd probably prefer you not, because you'll not undoubtedly lose money or lose the opportunity to make more money. What about, where do you see this question here?
Yes, this is a great question too. Why would you hire furniture instead of using your own? And I guess it relates back to point number 1. Using your own furniture can sometimes look a little bit, in particular, it could be slightly older furniture, slightly worn out. It could be tired. You might have really overcluttered rooms. And, visually for your own personal space, you're used to it. But I think as stylists and as people trying to help encourage a better sale outcome, we really do need to declutter that space and to really make it feel like a home that you'd want to live in. So sometimes it is swapping out your furniture, and it's really coming in with a more of a better size for the space. So, you know, you might have a very large armchair and a huge modular. It doesn't quite work in the space. So sizing is really, really important when we're looking at the space of the room. So choosing the right size furniture is going to really be a much better fit for the room. It also, you know, your existing furniture, does it align with the demographic and the style that I'm trying to achieve for the home? You know, so you might be living in there for, you know, 10, 20, 30 years, and you're used to seeing, you know, your furniture. But as we progress and, you know, the years go on, things do become different, where, you know, things might modernize. So it's just choosing maybe more contemporary pieces to kind of, you know, fit in. So yeah, using Stylists, we have the ability to streamline the spaces for easy flow, and, you know, to have one room kind of seamlessly flowing into another room, rather than there could be some blockages with consoles or, you know, an armchair or a large item that you've had there for years. It's just really changing that and just really opening the space. So yeah, providing a number of elements to the home, it definitely is worth furniture hire over using your own.
Hopefully you'll free up some cash when you are downsizing. So it would be great to perhaps splash out for yourself when you get to the new home and buy your new pieces for yourself. Are you an empty nester looking to downsize from the family home? Are you finding your home no longer serves the purpose you bought it for? Do you need to declutter and don't know where to begin? Like many thousands of seniors, you are not alone. Transitioning from the family home can feel incredibly overwhelming and stir up mixed emotions from the past. I have written a comprehensive and insightful guide on how to go about finding a more appropriate size home and how to get there. My book, Rightsize Your Home, The Empty Nester's Guide to a Stress-Free Downsize, leaves no stone unturned. You will find all aspects of downsizing covered by me and expert contributors in a quest to answer all of your questions and help you overcome the fear and challenges that so often present. You can order the book at rightsizeyourhome.com.au and get in control of that right-sizing journey. So how much is it for furniture hire and how does it all work?
Good question. Yes, look, it really does depend. It depends on the house size. You know, every room, every space is different. So yeah, the space is divided room by room. So how I work is I come through the home, I look at the areas of each room. I then start to think about what needs to be done in this room, and I start costing it up according to the pieces that I'd like to see used in the space. So, you know, maybe it also could be changing a dining room to a living space. So we're removing one dining room and we're adding another living. So it really just depends room by room. It does, you know, obviously with a unique look, and, you know, I could be using more contemporary pieces. So yeah, every room is broken down. I quote it according to each room. It's itemized, so that, you know, the seller knows exactly what is going to be used in the space and knows exactly how much it's going to cost per room. So yeah, it does vary room to room, house to house, but generally 3-bedroom homes, we can start from anywhere from 4,500 and it can go right up to, you know, 7,000-8,000.
Now, the good thing contained within that price there is that you actually look after the entire thing. So the thing that we love from a project point of view is it's something that we can project many weeks out when looking at a downsize and the project runs. It can always be scheduled in. So the logistics, how does it work from the presentation point of view is after you've done all that work, Sarah, we can actually, the install comes in, you have strong people who bring it all. You have
Yes.
to transport it all.
You don't have to worry about lifting a finger. We do it all for you.
Probably better that, you're not there, and all that gets taken care of. And then essentially within a number of hours, the home is completely catered for. It's furnished, the floor plan is looked after, and it's presented well within a day.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
usually, we would organise that the day before the photographers come in. So it's ready to go. Once that comes in, there's no time wasted there. It's the photography, and then you're following the real estate marketing plan.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Same thing in reverse when you're sold. So
we come through. Yeah, we come in and we pick up all the furniture and take it away for you. So it's, from process of coming and letting you know what needs to be changed around giving an itemised quote to, in the background, we do all the, the work of, choosing the furniture, getting everything ready for the installation on the day. It's the day before we give you a notification of what times we're going to be there, and we're generally there for a few hours, and then we pack it, we style everything, we have it all seamlessly done for you, ready for the photography. And again, once it's sold, we come in and we pick it all up for you, so there's absolutely no lifting for you guys that you need to do, and it's pretty much seamless throughout the whole process with our staff.
So that 4.5 to roughly 7,000 there, depending on the size, but it's very hard to. It's an estimate, very hard to know until you've seen the house.
Yeah.
The selection, the install, the period of hire, and then the pickup and return. Now, it's normally 6 weeks for the price of 4. And we would generally say that a house should be in normal times, and even in this period, in current market, that's normally allows for all of that to happen.
Yes, that's right. It's, at the moment, we're, the 6 weeks is the time that will, generally will sell, and it's, that's exactly right.
Great. All right, well, to wrap it up, this is our last slide. So top tips for furnishing to sell. Yeah, the first one.
Yes, declutter. I think everybody understands that word very well. Declutter. Now, what does that mean? It means you've lived in a home for many, many years, and you've got lots of things around the house. It's little knickknacks. It's framed and personal photographs, cupboard spaces full of clothes or linen, and things are falling out of the drawers. Desks and studies, and can be overflowing with documentation. Kitchens especially cluttered with appliances and lots of knick-knacky things that we all like to just put aside on the kitchen and just grab when we want to. But when you're trying to sell a home, you really want that to envision the person coming in to really fall in love with the home. So we want to declutter their minds. We want to have them walking through and really feeling a peace and tranquility about walking in, and not having to feel like you've overtoppled with lots of things, background, what we call white noise. It's, it's the little bits and pieces that, do create in kind of the mind. So it's just decluttering desk surfaces, bathrooms, putting away personal items, documentation, and cleaning benches so that they're nice and clean.
Yeah, and the buyer likes to imagine their own things there, and it being their space. So if it is depersonalised and it is uncluttered, it is, well, places always look bigger when they are uncluttered. They can imagine themselves there, which is what we want. We want as many people as possible imagining themselves there in that home.
Absolutely.
Moving on to number 2, it's keeping it neutral, which is a step on from declutter. So once we're depersonalised, again, it needs to be a bit of a palette for the new person coming in, the prospective buyer. Tell us more about that. Yeah,
so, you walk in and you might love the colours of, reds and, loud colours of oranges, and, you might have wallpapered walls, that might have been really, funky a couple of years ago, but now it's looking a little bit overpowering in the room. We like to just to take a step back and think, what is it the mind wants to see? And it's peaceful colours like blues and greens to kind of represent nature, whites, linens, some soft greys. These things are all colour palettes to make it feel calming. So nothing's really loud, nothing's too, you know, in your face when you walk in, you think, I'm in a space of, it's, you know, people might think that it's too much. So keeping it neutral, but so it includes like the lounges. If you've got bright coloured lounges, perhaps changing those over to more of a linen or a white or a soft grey. Keeping neutral cushions on the lounges, you know, decluttering the kitchens to make it a more of a neutral space on the bench tops. Bedrooms, beautiful fresh white linen is always lovely to see, particularly when you're walking into main bedrooms. People want to see that as a restful place. So nothing, you know, too florally or overpowering on the bed linen. It's just to keep it nice with little pops of colour on the beds and the cushions. So yeah, it's nice and easy to keep it neutral around the home.
Excellent. And a furniture to fit space. We've talked a bit on that on the previous two topics. So
we did. And this is number 3 is really, really important. A number of times I've walked through to homes and, you know, you've got those large Moran lounges that are quite overpowering in a room, or, you know, you've got, you know, queen beds sitting in bedrooms that really could only take a double, or, you know, it's really, it's moving away from how you would love to live in the space to really kind of thinking what your buyers are going to want. And everyone wants space. Everyone wants to walk through a house seamlessly. So it is perhaps moving a dining table to another area of the home if it's, you know, too much, you know, crowding into a living and dining area. It's, you know, taking large lounges and you know, downsizing into maybe a 3-seat with 2 armchairs rather than a massive modular. So it really is. It's really focusing on furniture to fit the space.
excellent. And the last point is a touch of freshness. So always keeping, well, hygiene cells, absolutely. So clean, declutter like you've never done before, but then a touch of freshness on top of that.
Yeah. Freshness is what I suggest is like florals and plants. I have a spritzer that I love to use in the home to, you know, I just put, you know, little spritzers on the lounges, you know, just to freshen up. A nice candle. Candles work wonderfully in a home to really create a beautiful soft smell, nothing overpowering. So choose things like lime and coconuts or vanilla beans. You know, it's the softest smells that, you know, people are going to engage in. Flowers are always lovely, bunch of roses or a bunch of, you know, lilies or something that's really going to, you know, be quite soothing to the space. I always love to have fresh flowers in my home anyway. So yeah, it is really, that's the freshness, that's the kind of thing that you want to see and feel and smell in a house.
And a touch of just on those smells around there, we do also get very used to, so I've had owners that are very used to the smells within their home. So it's really important to make sure we're not masking anything. It's absolutely critical that carpets are cleaned, and fresh paint can do an amazing, if we haven't painted there for a number of years. It's not unusual for clients of ours to have not painted for 15 years. So those freshness, it can come from everything. It can come from cleaning carpets. It can come from cleaning out cupboards and getting rid of old things. And then also, of course, the finishing touches, as you were saying there too, right at the end. That has been fantastic. So thank you so much for talking through, Sarah. I think your knowledge is amazing and it's always a pleasure to talk.
Thanks, Belinda.
That's great. No problem at all. The next webinars are really, we're going to get really down the hole. So those of you who can see on the webinar, not on the podcast, of course, but I've got a whole section, a whole chapter on decluttering. So there's a framework behind that. And what I've done is I've created the next series of 4 webinars to go through a declutter challenge. So I'm looking for people you may or may not be selling even in the very close future, but someone that, anyone that knows that they want to start the journey of getting ready for a right size. I would love you to join me for the next few webinars and actually work through the challenge. And what a nice tie-in, as it is number 1 on the list of presenting a home at the end. Whether you're presenting soon or not, it's lovely to live in a fresh space and decluttered and have everything working. So stay tuned for that more exciting content. All right, a couple of learning opportunities for you to upgrade and find out more about what we have to offer. You can, of course, buy the ebook, which is $9.99. The Rightsize Your Home, the Empty Nester's Guide to a Stress-Free Downsize. It's a much deeper dive of this, getting your right size right. And I'm sure you will enjoy reading about that. Also, our online courses, I recommend that you start with the first course. It's $49, Rightsize Your Home, course number 1, Shifting Your Mindset. So head to rightsizyourhome.com.au and follow the training courses and select the one that you're after there. And I hope you love it as much as I did writing it. There's the dates coming up for the next few workshops, and it would be great if you know anyone in your circle that would love to join for that decluttering challenge as well over the next 4 workshops. So thank you to everyone listening, and thank you, Sarah, for coming on board. I just want to put those last few words in here. Once you believe in yourself, understand you're doing the right thing, this project becomes purely a logistical process. If you would like to find out more from Sarah, furniture hire, or any of the things we've talked about today, you can give us a call or shoot us an email. Thanks for coming on board. I look forward to talking to you soon.
Belinda Warwick makes no representation and gives no warranty as to the accuracy of the information and does not accept any responsibility for any errors or inaccuracies in or omissions from the information contained herein, whether negligent or otherwise, and shall not be liable for any loss or damage howsoever arising as a result of any person acting or refraining from acting in reliance on any information contained herein. No listener or workshop attendee shall rely solely on the information contained in this, as it does not purport to be comprehensive to render specific advice. This disclaimer does not purport to exclude any warranties implied by law which may not be lawfully excluded. This workshop, which includes any resources supplied, is only for the use of the intended recipients and is confidential and/or privileged. Belinda Warwick shall not be liable for any errors, omissions, viruses, loss and/or damage arising from using, opening or transmitting this workshop.